Well, hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to talk about how much sunscreen you should be applying. I get tons of questions about the nuances of applying sunscreen, so I'm going to try and tackle several common questions that I get about this. And the first one is how much sunscreen to apply. This is debated all over the internet. 1 ounce of sunscreen, the equivalent of a shot glass to the entire body. But how does that doesn't really help you in your day-to-day life when you're covered up mostly and you just need to be protecting your face, maybe your arms. Like, it becomes very confusing. And I will insert an infographic here so you can get a sense of about roughly the amount of sunscreen per body site. Like, for example, you'll see anywhere from 1/3 of a teaspoon to a full teaspoon recommended for the head and neck. It's not an exact science, and obviously it varies depending on how large you are. You know, just because body surface area differs quite a bit. So it varies a lot. And rather than getting hung up on this teaspoon amount, it's, you know, kind of shoot for that. But honestly, what the studies show, there was a linear relationship between the time spent and the amount used. So the longer you spend, the more likely you are to get to the amount that you need. Make sure you focus on getting it around your eyes, to the sides of your face, out to here where your ear is, and of course all around your ear and the sides of the neck, the back of the neck. Don't skip any of these areas. And so the more time you spend putting it on, the less likely you are to skip those areas. Not putting it on in a hurried manner also reduces the issue of pilling and balling that can happen with sunscreens. If you just put big globs on and put it on very quickly, then that can lead to a lot of pilling and balling, because basically you're not really spreading it out onto the skin. And so as the film is forming underneath that big glob, the rest of the sunscreen that's sitting on top of that film kind of starts to peel off, and then it takes the film underneath off with it, and you get balling and pilling. So go really slowly and just make sure that you spread it out onto the surface of the skin. After you apply that first layer, allow it to absorb and dry, and then put another layer on. This also will increase the protection that you get from the sunscreen. With one application, you actually miss about 20% of surface area with just one layer. This is why I layer sunscreen all the time, and I often get questions like, why am I doing that? And the reason is because there are skip areas in between. Now, how often to apply? In order for sunscreen to be effective, it has to be reapplied, regardless of what activities you're doing or what you have planned for the day. The reason for this is that we produce oils on our skin through our pores. We sweat. Even if you don't feel sweaty, there is a little bit of eccrine sweat coming out of your skin on an ongoing basis, and that starts to break down that film and starts to erode the protection of the sunscreen. So it has to be reapplied throughout the day. How often? If you are outside, outdoors, sunscreen has to be reapplied every 2 hours at least. And honestly, if you definitely if you are outside at the beach and whatnot, being very active, I would say every 90 minutes, because you're sweating a lot more and it's hot and everything, and it's coming off. So yeah, very, very frequent. That being said, when you are outdoors that long and you're starting to have to reapply it that frequently, that's a signal that you need to definitely rein in on other things. Seek shade, cover up, put on a hat, definitely pull in all of the behaviors, because if you are outside, like, you know, in a bikini for longer than 90 minutes, when it comes coming time to reapply the sunscreen, like the sunscreen is really just kind of helping a little bit. You need other things. You need other things if you are outside that long. So that's that. Now, what about when you are indoors all day? Do you have to reapply? Absolutely. Again, in order for it to work, it has to be reapplied. But you don't have to reapply it as frequently, like the every 2 hours thing. My rule of thumb is when you are indoors throughout all day, reapply your sunscreen at least 3 times a day. Get at least 3 applications on throughout the day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The reason for this is that a lot of UVA comes through the window, as does visible light, which can drive hyperpigmentation. But UVA contributes to skin cancer risk as well as photoaging. So you need to protect your skin from those rays, even when you're indoors. So absolutely, and I say 3 times a day, just, you know, it's kind of something I've made up for myself. I find that it is doable to do like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner style application for days when you're exclusively indoors. You can do more than that, but you know, if you don't reapply when you're indoors, you're still sweating it off and it's still coming off. And as that UVA comes through the window, you're getting exposure. There's a classic image of a woman who worked in an office by a window for many years, and you could see the striking unilateral photoaging of her face on the side next to the window. I mean, it's dramatic. I'll insert it here so you guys can see. What about water-resistant sunscreen? Okay, you still have to reapply water-resistant sunscreen as well. The same rules apply to water-resistant sunscreen as non-water-resistant sunscreen. So you can have a water-resistant sunscreen that's water-resistant up to 40 minutes or one that's water-resistant up to 80 minutes. Basically what that means is that they perform the SPF testing on human skin to determine how well the product will protect the skin from burning. And after they do that, they then submerge, I think it's the arm actually, it might be the back, but they actually submerge that skin in a Whirlpool bathtub for 20 minutes, and then they remove it, let it air dry. They put it in again for another 20 minutes. And in the case of the water resistant up to 40 minutes sunscreens, they reassay the SPF protection. And if the protection is maintained, that gets you the labeling water resistant up to 40 minutes. For 80 minutes, they do more dunks, basically. But that doesn't mean that it is waterproof. Basically, if you go in the water, it will still rub off, but it's not gonna wash off all at once. And so it's helpful and necessary for protecting your skin while you are underwater, because guess what? You can get burned in the water. It's more likely because it's intensified by the water. So you definitely need to be having sunscreen that stays on the skin while you are in the water. But when you get out, it doesn't mean that the sunscreen is still good. You have to reapply after you get out of the water. And if you're gonna be in the water for longer than 40 minutes, I would say get out and reapply, because it's not gonna stay on there indefinitely while you are in the water. When you're not in the water, the same rules apply. Reapply every 2 hours while you're gonna be outside for a prolonged period of time, and reapply the water-resistant sunscreen at least 3 times a day if you're wearing it while you're inside. Because even though it's water resistant, it doesn't mean that it is oil and sweat resistant. It doesn't mean that you're not losing that protection. So say for example, you are outside for 2 hours, you know, you're still losing that protection. One nice thing about it though is that with water resistant, in between application, you have the duration of protection is a little bit higher with water resistant. So I really like water resistant sunscreens for that reason, and I recommend them for everyday use. Do I need to wear sunscreen when the UV index is like 2 or really low? And the answer is yes. The UV index, if you're not familiar, is a metric that captures the sun intensity in a way that gives you a measure of your risk of burning that day. Essentially what it is a metric of UVB exposure. UVB is a part of ultraviolet radiation from the sun that burns the skin. So on a day where the UV index is low, your risk of your skin burning is much lower than when it's higher. But that metric does not capture UVA. UVA is actually the majority of the ultraviolet radiation that comes down to the earth and reaches our skin, and UVA is what penetrates very deeply, destroys our collagen, is responsible for a lot of, if not arguably the majority of photoaging, as well as skin cancer risk It's what comes in through window glass. So even when the UV index is low, the UVA is still there and still something you need to protect your skin from when you are indoors and when you're outdoors, even when it's cloudy out. So definitely wear sunscreen regardless of the UV index. The next one is tips for applying sunscreen over a full face of makeup. And I'm gonna do a separate video on that for you guys. So stay tuned for that. I'll give you guys some tips and strategies. It may already be up. I haven't decided what order I'm gonna put them up in, but that would be the other one. Another common question that I get is, why do you promote sunscreens that say SPF 100? Isn't that like wrong? You know, we used to maintain that anything higher than like SPF 50 was not like worth anybody's time, because its ability to protect you from a burn in testing is really no different. Like an SPF 50 sunscreen and SPF 100, when put on test subjects, this is key, when put on test subjects at a density of 2 milligrams per centimeter square, they're virtually identical in terms of their ability to protect that area from sun-induced burning. But we have learned that in real world use, that actually is not true, that because consumers grossly underapply sunscreen, they actually get better protection at the end using a sunscreen that has a higher SPF, simply due to the fact that they underapply the sunscreen. So higher, they end up getting closer to SPF 30 or 40 with a higher SPF, just because they underapply it. So yeah, higher is actually better. That's something we've learned. I think in my earlier sunscreen Q&As when I first started my channel, I probably told you guys that higher made no difference, but we actually know that it does seem to make a difference in real world use. Some studies also suggest that possibly higher SPF sunscreens might also afford better UVA protection. A major issue with sunscreens in the United States is that they're not required to quantify or disclose to what extent their product protects you from UVA. SPF is giving you a sense of how well it will protect you from a burn, but it gives you no sense of how well it will protect you from those aging rays that penetrate very deeply. And the reason for this is that there's really no agreed upon assay for measuring that. Other countries each have chosen to quantify that outside of the US and do their own testing of that and report it in their own ways. That's why you see some sunscreens are labeled with PA ratings and whatnot. So, you know, every area of the world, they have decided of their own, you know, what they want to do for UVA. The US is the least thorough, and they just do a pass fail. Basically, the sunscreen has to protect against UVA, but you know, UVA is a pretty big part of the ultraviolet radiation spectrum. So to what extent, you'll find in US sunscreens, there's likely tremendous variability. So you never really know that, but kind of a backhanded way to get around that is to choose sunscreens that have a higher SPF, it seems. So yeah, that's what I can tell you about that. Protecting your skin from UVA is really important. So yeah, the other thing I would say is, you guys people will ask me this all the time, and I don't know where you're coming from and what countries of the world you are, but people will try and ask me how one sunscreen that I'm talking about compares to another sunscreen in terms of its ability to protect you from UVA. Particularly people who live in areas of the world where you have UVA rating systems, you want me to cross compare. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. You can't figure out how well a sunscreen is going to protect against UVA based on ingredients. Like, I can't come up with a PA rating off the top of my head. Like, I just can't. So people ask me that, I have no way of knowing. It seems as though a higher SPF definitely gives better UVA protection, but I can't give you a PA rating based on that. Another question I get a lot is, should we wash our face before reapplying sunscreen? Heck no, that defeats the purpose. There is still some residual protection left on the prior application. You don't want to wash that off. And also, the more, like if you wash your face that many times a day, you're going to have a terrible irritant contact dermatitis, and it's not going to be a good thing, and that can flare acne as well. So no, don't wash your face in between before reapplying. And likewise, another similar type of question is, well, I don't care for the shininess of the sunscreen, so I use a blotting paper. Is that okay? No, you're blotting off the sunscreen when you do that. Instead, if you don't like the shininess, an alternative is to use a mineral sunscreen powder to kind of mattify that shininess. Because at least where you touch with the powder, you're putting down sunscreen as opposed to just wicking it off and not replacing it. So that would be my recommendation for the shininess. But no, the blotting paper thing, no, that you can't do. When it comes to applying sunscreen, wash your hands before you apply. And while I have shown in my videos before me applying sunscreen in the car, obviously that's not ideal now in the current situation where we're trying to really be conscientious of our hand hygiene. But yeah, obviously that, wash your hands before you put it on. People also verbalize a lot of concern about reapplying sunscreen, that you're kind of sandwiching bacteria and dirt in between the layers. There's no reason for you to worry about that. There's no study out there that I can cite that quantifies dirt and bacteria within the pore lining before and after numerous sunscreen applications. So I don't have a scientific reference. Just trust me, it's fine. That being said, this ties into the next set of questions. You do need to wash your face at the end of the day, or body if you've been applying sunscreen to the body, as you should. If you're wearing shorts, definitely apply to your legs and arms if you're wearing short sleeves. But take it off at the end of the day. And the best way to do that is to actually use an oil-based cleanser, particularly for the water-resistant sunscreens. Use an oil-based cleanser to break up that film, and then step in the shower and wash off the broken up sunscreen layer, oily residue, with just a gentle non-soap cleanser. But there was a recent little paper that actually showed this was the best way to remove it, because one issue that can happen for people, especially for people with acne, is that they don't adequately remove the film, and that's because it's intended to really stick on your skin, so it can stay on there and with makeup and things, and kind of start mixing and irritating around the pores. So definitely wash it off at the end of the day, and using an oil-based cleanser is the best way to do that. So those are my tips about sunscreen application and kind of addressing some of the common questions and concerns that I get. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.